Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping back. If you're a new or returning member of my society, I just want to say that I really appreciate your support. Before we get into today's video, I just want to remind you guys to please subscribe to my channel. As always, like and leave comments. I love to hear from you guys, and I have amazing content on the way, and I really want you guys to stay in the loop. Today's video, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about taxes. I know it's totally different from what I usually talk about on my channel, but it's helpful nonetheless. So calling all of my independent contractors, this video is for you. However, if anyone else has any other general tax questions, let me know in the comment section below and I can direct you to some helpful information. So, an independent contractor is also known as someone who is self-employed. That just basically means that you do not get a W-2 from an employer and all your wages go directly to you and no taxes are taken out. Some popular examples of people who are considered independent contractors work for Uber, Lyft, Postmates, DoorDash, Instacart, or any other ride-sharing app. Those are the ones that are the most popular, but there are others out there. Also, before we get started, I just want to note that I am not a tax professional. I am simply just a regular independent contractor just like you. I've driven for Lyft, Uber, and Postmates in the past, and I've just learned a couple things along the way when it comes to doing taxes that I feel is very helpful to share with everybody. So there are many pros and cons to being an independent contractor. One of the first ones would be that they're great for earning money. It's an easy way to make money. You can make it from the comfort of your own home or your own car, which makes that kind of thing very lax. You also get to choose your own schedule, so it's very flexible. And also these jobs have the option for instant pay, which means you can get paid the day of. You do not have to wait for a paycheck, which is amazing. But on the flip side, a con to being an independent contractor means that no taxes are taken from your pay, which means at the end of the year, or if you file quarterly, you have to pay the government back taxes. It means you're completely 100% in charge of making sure that you file your taxes and your earnings correctly. The tax form that you use as an independent contractor is the tax form 1099. At the end of the year, you should receive a 1099 miscellaneous form from your rideshare company, which lists the amount that you earned through them throughout the year. Some rideshare companies have different rules, but generally you only receive a 1099 miscellaneous form if you make over a certain amount. It could be 400, it could be 600. You just have to double check with your specific company that you're working with. On this form is where you list all other sources of income, and not only independent contractors use this form, but people who also have rental property, who trade stocks. These people would also use this form as well. So the tax portion seems like it's fairly difficult to understand, but actually it's just simple math. When you're filing your taxes, all you're doing is reporting to the government how much you made. And the cool part about being an independent contractor is that you can also itemize your expenses or deduct things from what you would possibly owe the government in taxes. Simple math. So when it comes to the type of expenses that you are allowed to write off on your taxes, you can almost write off anything you use that helps you to do your job that is a necessity. So for a rideshare company, you can write off things in regards to your car, such as gas, mileage, the maintenance, regular upkeep, a percentage of your phone usage, or any accessories that you use within your car, such as maybe a phone mount or other portable chargers. You can even write off a portion of your phone bill because you use your phone in order to do your job. Other miscellaneous items that you can also write off as expenses could be if you buy water for your car for your passengers, maybe candy, anything that you can relate to helping you do your job to its entirety can be used as an expense. Also, another thing that you can include as an expense on your taxes that a lot of people typically tend to forget are the app fees and the toll charges that the app you're using will show you at the end of your yearly summary. You can actually write these off on your taxes and get a portion of your money back using them. All right, let's talk about mileage. There's two ways in which on your taxes you can calculate how you use your mileage. The first is called the standard mileage rate, which is a simple equation given to us by the IRS that automatically includes things such as your gas or car expenses into this equation so that you don't have to deduct every single little thing. Or you can do it the second way, which is the way that I do it, and I do manual deductions, and this lets me deduct every single little thing. The two ways are totally up to you. Whichever one you want to use will be based on your preference, but just know that whichever way you choose to decide to start doing, you have to continue to use that way. So independent contractors have some cool variety of ways in which that we can file our taxes. Many options available to us. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're at a discount. Either way, it's really cool to be an independent contractor. So the first one could be you can file yourself. That means you can do your own taxes by yourself, by hand. You don't have to pay anybody, or you can seek help through a tax professional or an accountant, but this also becomes very costly. Or, since we live in the day and age of the internet, you can also choose to file your taxes online. It's cool because if you drive for one of the ride-sharing companies that I mentioned before, typically they'll offer TurboTax to you for free, which is awesome because typically I think it's like $90, but it's still very inexpensive way to file your taxes, both state and federal. And if I haven't mentioned already in the video, I deeply apologize. This tax information I'm giving you can only be applied to the federal taxes. Your state taxes will vary. I will put some links in the description box below that can help you find the tax information in your specific state. Another alternative to filing your taxes online could be using TaxSlayer. So this is just real talk right now, guys. I have tried to use both TaxSlayer and TurboTax, and honestly, I much rather use TurboTax. TaxSlayer is cool. Their prices are a little cheaper, and they will file your state and fed for free. However, it just kind of seemed like a low-grade TurboTax. It wasn't as informative. It wasn't as helpful the way that TurboTax really is, and that's why I like it. So if you could use TurboTax, I definitely recommend it. So I do have some tips for you in order to make this tax season easier and even just following for the next one. The first would be definitely keep track of all your expenses and your income. There are so many apps that you can use that help to track these two things, such as Stride, QuickBooks, Excel. I know that there's so many more out there, but those are the three that I've used for myself. Stride is really my favorite app to use to track my expenses and income because it also tracks your mileage at the same time. That's another tip. Make sure you track your mileage, whether it's using an app or just writing down when you go and when you've come back home, if it's by hand, anything, just remember to track your mileage. Remember when I was talking about the standard mileage rate? Right here actually is the equation. So what you would do is you would multiply the amount of miles that you travel times 0.545, and that would equal your mileage reimbursement. And that's if you choose the standard mileage rate. So some important dates to write down and save in your calendar. January 31st is the date that all employers have to give you either your W-2 or your 1099 form by this date. If you have not received any of those documents from an employer by that date, definitely contact them and ask them what is the holdup. Also, April 15th is the deadline for filing your taxes for the year prior. So make sure to file your taxes before this date in order to receive your refund very quickly. So independent contractors can also be known as freelance workers. And I too am a freelance worker, which is why I want to give you guys this amazing information. Freelance workers can be people who model, act, do photography, dance, they produce, they're makeup artists, they're DJs. If you fall into this category where you still make money for a service, you are considered freelance and you most absolutely can write things off on your taxes. So for my freelance workers, there is so much room for the things that we can write off on our taxes. Anything including self-promotion or advertisement. If you went to see a show or a performance, you can write off your tickets. You can write off your streaming accounts such as Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, because this would be considered a tool used to study. You can write off your costume or clothing purchases. You can also write off any beauty supplies. For my makeup artists, keep that in mind. You can write off any agent or manager fees that you've paid throughout the year. Also, your union dues if you are a SAG member. You can write off any and all tools that you use in order to perform your job to the best of your ability. Anything that is a class or a conference that you've attended, any equipment that you've bought, any source of education that you have spent money on that is related to your career path, you can most definitely write that off. Again, you can write off a portion of your phone or electronic bill because you use these devices in order to do your job. And you can literally write off almost anything on your taxes. Make sure you keep physical proof and record of what you're spending your money on, because you can write off anything all day long, but if the IRS comes back and needs proof and you don't have physical proof, you can get hit with a penalty. So definitely keep written records and written proof of all your purchases that you've made throughout the year. Also, guys, I just discovered this amazing website. It's called Keeper Tax. Keeper Tax is a website that helps you find all the things that you can itemize or use as deductions on your taxes based on the career path that you are in. So I will put that link in the description box below also, and make sure you check that out just in case I miss anything in this video. There's other things that you can write off. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you got some good information, especially if you fall under the category of an independent contractor or a freelance worker. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section. Either I can answer them myself or I can lead you to the direction to finding someone or something that answers your questions. Again, remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. I hope you guys have a great tax return, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.